Hey guys, over here bringing you Let's Talk the British Grand Prix, and usually I record this after Friday practice and kind of look through aerodynamic analysis, but yesterday I didn't have enough time, and to be honest, looking at qualifying just now that's just finished, really it's a good thing that I'm doing this after qualifying, because now this is pretty much going to turn into a qualifying reaction video instead of the normal Let's Talk GP that I usually do on this channel, because qualifying was absolute madness. Nico Rosberg getting pole position from Sebastian Vettel in second place, and Jenson Button in third, Nico Hulkenberg in fourth place. Great stuff. And Hamilton all the way down in sixth place. Crazy stuff, as it was very changeable conditions throughout. Q1, Q2, and Q3 were all very changeable conditions, but Q3, my god, was just crazy. You know, essentially, the track started getting really quite wet as the cars were out, and the likes of Vettel, who he was last out, and it was just far too wet for him, so he came out. He came back into the pits. He didn't set a lap time at the start. Everyone did manage to get one lap in as it started to rain again, and at that point, Hamilton was first place in pole. Nico Rosberg was second place, and that was on their it was on the medium tyre, but it was just starting to drizzle down quite a bit, so it was not maybe the optimum lap time ever. And then it started raining a tiny bit, but then it stopped halfway through, and it started drying out a tad. And about around 2 minutes to go, all the cars started rushing out, apart from Daniel Ricciardo, who the Red Bull team just thought he would stay in and wouldn't get any time. Vettel had to go out because he had to set a lap time. Both Mercs went out, both McLarens went out, Force Indies obviously, what have you, and they all went out. And you know, it was looking like in the first sector and the second sector it was just far too damp, and they were actually losing time. But surprisingly, in the last sector alone, because it was so dry in that last sector, because Silverstone being a fairly big track and just being, you know, the general weather here in Britain, it was a bit weird. It was very damp in the first and second sector, but in the third sector it was pretty damn dry, and much drier than their first lap time in Q3. And they were finding at least 3+ seconds in some cases on that last sector, and across the line first was Nico Hulkenberg, who went provisional pole, and that was quite surprising for the commentators, for all of us. But then straight away, bam, came in Vettel, then he got first, then Rosberg came in to grab pole position, and Jenson Button, for me personally, it was amazing to see him come up in third place. As you can tell by my avatar on my channel, maybe I am a Jenson Button fan, and seeing him come in third place is great for the race. Obviously, on the British Grand Prix race day tomorrow, hopefully we'll be seeing lots of fans going pink for Papa, which is a campaign that Jenson came up with McLaren. Essentially, you know, because Jenson Button's dad sadly passed away at the beginning of this year, and he always used to wear pink, a pink shirt on race day, and he's pretty much gone to every single race Jenson Button's ever done, apart from a handful. But sadly, he died at the beginning of this season. Very tragic one, and you know, a lot of people really loved him in the paddock, and so they come up with this campaign going pink for Papa. So selling pink t-shirts that people can wear at the race weekend. I will be rocking a classic pink shirt while I watch the Grand Prix from my living room. It's going to be a great weekend for Jenson Button. Just, you know, even if the result is maybe not going to be third place, you know, if it stays dry tomorrow, which is looking like, then Button won't have the pace. The McLaren car is just not that great in the dry conditions, but it gives him a good chance at least. But I'll definitely be doing a rain dance tonight, just try and see if it can rain a bit, because then we got another cracker, because, you know, Q3 was so enthralling that if the race is like that, it's going to be amazing. And we must mention Hamilton. So what happened to him was Rosberg came in for pole, but Rosberg actually was behind Hamilton on the flying lap. But about through the second sector, Hamilton abandoned his lap time because he just felt it was too wet. So he came in, he decided to come in. So a few angry fans have been saying on Twitter that it was Mercedes' fault, but Hamilton has admitted that he was the one who made the complete call. Toto Wolff saying that, yeah, he just messed up there coming in, and Rosberg stayed out. Rosberg sort of, you know, really wanted to stay out, because he was actually complaining that Hamilton was just holding off a bit on the outlap towards the crossing the finish line, and actually crossing the finish line to start that flying lap. Apparently Rosberg was right up Hamilton's gearbox, so Hamilton, you know, kind of you know, let Rosberg through, but also at the same time abandoned the lap time because he thought it was just too wet. But in the third sector, they found about 3 seconds, which is crazy. I mean, and when you compare the kind of conditions from Sector 1 and 2 to Sector 3, you just find instant traction, instant grip, and you can just find huge chunk of time, which is, you know, great for all the ones that stayed out. Also, and good to mention is Bianchi of Marussia in 12th and Max Chilton 13th. Obviously, Chilton gets a 5-place grid penalty, so he's down in 18th. But Bianchi in 12th place, that is awesome stuff there. They both go into Q2, and Bianchi to start 12th, that is a great position for him to start in. I'm not sure if they'll be able to really get points because you've got the likes of the 2 Williams and 2 Ferraris who I haven't even mentioned yet. This is why this qualifying is so crazy. Didn't even mention this yet, that Massa and Bottas both out in Q1, as well as Alonso and Raikkonen. We've got row 9, both Williams, 17th and 18th, and then row 10, both Ferraris, Alonso and Raikkonen, down there, just ahead of the Caterhams. But that is crazy stuff to see, and it was an amazing qualifying, really just messed up. But it's really gonna just throw everything out the window, really, in terms of predictions. I was planning to try and make this video after Friday practice, as I usually do, and do some aerodynamic analysis, but to be honest, it's sort of a good thing that I'm doing this now, because there wasn't actually that much aero development, as is Formula 1 at the moment, quite restrictive on all the regulations. But it just, the predictions I was planning to make for that video, you know, yesterday, have just been thrown out, because I thought Hamilton was going to get pole, I thought Hamilton was going to win, I thought Rosberg was going to, you know, come in 2nd place, I thought maybe Ricciardo could have got a 3rd, and maybe, you know, Button could have managed about 7th place to, you know, do his father proud. But now it's all thrown out the window. Rosberg's got pole. He could easily just walk this race. We've got Hamilton in 6th place, but it's a lot harder to really do what he did in Austria, because the first few corners at Silverstone are very tight. Austria was quite an open circuit, so Hamilton's going to have his work cut out, and, you know, if it's dry, then he obviously will make his way through at some point. But by then, is it going to be too late with Rosberg out ahead? And also, what can Vettel do from 2nd place? The Red Bull looking good in Sector 2 with all that aero, so what can he do? That'll be interesting. It'd be good to see if Button, Hulkenberg and Magnussen in 5th place, if those 3 will be falling back and how much they will by. You know, I'm hoping at least Button can, you know, maybe, you know, I think he'll probably fall back, being realistic, if it's a dry race. But, you know, I'm hoping that he doesn't fall back lower than 6th place at least from 3rd place. And I'm hoping for changeable conditions, really. It's forecast for dry, but if it's changeable like it was in qualifying, it's going to be crazy. I mean, we've got Daniel Ricciardo down 8th place as well, so he'll be making his way through as well, no doubt, because that Red Bull is looking good. And obviously, both Ferraris and Williams, they're going to try and make their way through. I think it's even out of Alonso's hands to try and get huge points from 19th place. I think the best Alonso could probably hope for is maybe, I could see him maybe get, you know, 6th place or 5th place if things really go well for Alonso on the start and the strategy. But, you know, I don't see any hope for Raikkonen. Raikkonen's already struggling in that Ferrari massively. Both Williams having missed free practice quite a big chunk. I don't know how their, you know, long run pace is, but it's definitely going to be a very interesting one. So this has been Let's Talk the British Grand Prix, a very short one compared to my usual 25-minute Let's Talk GPs, because, you know, this was just a crazy Grand Prix qualifying session. But also, as I said, you know, unfortunately, with the way Formula 1 is right in the moment, there's not too much to talk about on the aerodynamic side. So I hope that does change in the next few races. Otherwise, these Let's Talks are going to get even shorter and shorter. But I still hope you guys enjoyed this. Do give this video a like if you did. Comment below what you think will happen in the race. I want to know your predictions. Do comment below your top 10, your top 3. Even people go as far as the whole grid, which is a bit crazy. But I do enjoy reading them. I may not comment on any of them, but I do love reading them, and just to get a kind of feel for what people are thinking. General consensus is sort of like a survey almost in the comments to see what people are kind of thinking for the race. But yeah, also do tell me what you thought of the qualifying. Was Hamilton, you know, did Hamilton really make a mistake there, and that was that Hamilton's kind of title blown, because he can't afford many more mistakes? And, you know, just tell me anything you want to know. Maybe you're a Force India fan, you're really chuffed about Hulkenberg getting 4th and a provisional pole for like a few seconds. If you're a Jenson Button fan like me, or a McLaren fan like me, then tell me your thoughts about Button getting 3rd and Magnussen up in 5th, which is also good. And if you're a Red Bull fan as well, tell me about Vettel and such like that. And did you think Ricciardo and Red Bull were wrong to stay in, as Ricciardo could have easily got up there with Vettel, maybe even got 3rd and dropped a few other people down in place? But yeah, do comment all that good stuff below. below. And again, give it a like if you enjoyed it, comment below, all that stuff I just said. Subscribe if you're new for weekly motorsport content. I do Formula 1, Grid Autosport, and Forza 5 video gaming content, and also real life stuff like this where I talk about usually aerodynamic analysis. But unfortunately today I couldn't really do too much because there hasn't really been too many updates at Silverstone. Knock teams, please get on that. I need plenty of stuff to talk about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you guys enjoy tomorrow. I will see you then for GP in 60 seconds. Till then, goodbye.